Hey family, Etzel Cadet here. Just want to talk to you about forgiveness today. I know that it's something that a lot of us struggle with. When somebody has hurt you, when somebody has let you down, the prospect of forgiving that individual can be daunting. The idea of letting them back into your life, even more so. And I just want to cover 2 points on forgiveness. Number one, forgiveness is not a justification of what they've done. It's not saying that it's okay. It's not saying that it's not a big deal. I know that it's difficult because when somebody hurts you, when they let you down, when they disappoint you, sometimes we want justice. Sometimes we want even vengeance, right? But when we forgive, we can kind of feel like we're just letting it go, like we're just letting it slide. But forgiveness is not justifying the pain. Forgiveness is not just letting it slide. Forgiveness is trusting God to bring about justice, trusting God to bring about vengeance. It's putting it in God's hands for God to deal with it. So I want to encourage you to continue to forgive because forgiveness is not justifying the pain. Two, forgiveness does not require friendship. Just because you forgive them doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. In fact, if the person has not changed their behavior, their attitude, their actions, then it's not even healthy to reconcile with them. The best example we have of this is of Joseph, who after his brothers have thrown him, sold him into slavery, they threw him in a pit. He was a slave in Potiphar's house. He was imprisoned in Egypt. He went through all of that because his brothers were jealous of him because he was one of the sons of Rachel. They were jealous of him. They threw him in a pit. They sold him into slavery. He went through many years of heartache and trials and tribulation because of his brothers. And when Joseph rose to power in Egypt, he then had an opportunity to exact vengeance on his brothers. His brothers came to Egypt looking for food because famine had hit all of the land, and his brothers did not recognize him, but Joseph recognized them. And I don't know about you, but if I were in Joseph's position and I had went through all of these years of suffering because of these people and they show up and now I have power and now I have an opportunity to exact some vengeance, I might just flex a little bit on them. However, Joseph doesn't do this. It seems as if Joseph has already forgiven them, but he doesn't reconcile with them. And what I mean is that Joseph we know that he's forgiven them because he doesn't strike them right away. However, we know that he doesn't reconcile with them because he doesn't open up about who he is right away. In fact, before Joseph reconciles with them, he tests them. He tests to see if they're healthy for reconciliation. So what does Joseph do? Joseph remembers that these were men that hated Rachel's sons. So he calls for Rachel's other son to come and join them, and he treats Rachel's son Benjamin better than all the rest, and he's listening to them in their language to see if they are still the same people that sold him into slavery. But when he sees that they have changed, when he sees that they have transformed, when he sees that they're no longer the same scoundrels that sold him into slavery, he recognizes, okay, now that they've changed, they're healthy for reconciliation. So Joseph already forgave them in that he did not kill them. He did not exact vengeance on them. He did not take justice into his own hands. But Joseph did not reconcile with them until he tested them. He tested them 3 different times. And I encourage you, if there's somebody that you need to forgive, something you need to let go of, something you need to get past, one, recognize that forgiveness is not justifying their action. It's putting their situation in God's hands, allowing God to exact vengeance or to get justice for you. And then number 2, just because you forgive doesn't mean you have to be friends. Test that relationship. See if they are faithful with little, and if so, then maybe you can trust them with a bit more, and then after time you can trust them with much. After you've tested them, after you've seen that they have changed, that they have repented, that they're no longer the same kinds of people and that they're healthy for reconciliation, then allow your forgiveness to transition to reconciliation. Until then, you may need to love them from a distance. So I just want to encourage you today, if you're struggling with forgiveness, lean on God's strength for the power to forgive. God bless you.